Lock in all sports, all plays, all 5% best bets from now until Super Bowl 57 on February 12th, 2023 from your favorite WagerTalk handicapper for only $1,199 versus a regular price of $1,999 for one total savings of $800. This limited time super discount comes out to less than $100 per month and only $3.28 per day. As an added bonus, your all access starts immediately, so the sooner you buy before Super Bowl 56, the more additional days you will get for free. Just go to WagerTalk.com, choose your favorite handicapper to lock in, and don't forget there is no limit to the amount of handicappers you can redeem our Super Bowl to Super Bowl offer on.
Hey guys, welcome in on a very happy Friday to you. Time for a little NBA tip-off powered by WagerTalk.com. As loaded card here tonight in the association. And we got a few games that we're going to break down, see if we can find some edges for you. And we're going to do it. Started with our man, the prop god, the NBA prop god, Andy Lang in the house. Tony Mejia. You know he's locked and loaded, ready to go. And we welcome back an old friend. Haven't seen him in a while. Kevin Dolan, all done with the unpacking of the boxes and the move. Welcome back, Kev. It is a pleasure, gentlemen, on this Friday. And Andy, I know you continuing to dominate here in the association. Those props of yours continue to kill. What do you got? You got anything ready tonight on this big card in the association?
Yeah, a lot of games. So, of course, a lot of opportunities for props and plays. Number one, last 3 days. Number one, last 30 days. And that's for all sports as well as NBA. So right now, you can get $20 off a 3-day pass. That's what I'm recommending right now. You get 3 days of NBA. You get NBA playoffs. And we're hitting 81% for the Australian Open. So you can't beat that. Yeah, we're up about 29 units since Sunday in tennis. So that's best bet. Just it's only $49 for a 3-day pass. Go ahead and get that. That's what I would recommend. And there's a lot of celebrating last night. Had to check the odds on the Indiana Pacers to win the championship, coming off the big win. Unfortunately, it was without most of our starters who were paying a lot of money to. But that was a fun game to watch. Being a Pacers fan, to watch them go toe to toe with the Warriors like that.
Yeah, that was great, especially when you had the under and watch it go to overtime. All right, so Tony Mejia, welcome in, my man. 3 games on the card last night in the association. Your 2 bets. Cha-ching, my friend. Congrats there, continuing to roll. What do you got for us locked and loaded tonight here at WagerTalk?
Well, 11 games will give us a lot of choices to wager on. There'll be a 4% play. 1 bet is already loaded, and I'm going to give that away for free for everybody watching, but there's going to be a ton in the package, player props, sides, and totals, and there'll be a 4% in there. Went to 5 and 2 on my 5% plays on Wednesday, and that was with a loss, not a win, so I'm not happy about that. It was the Pacers and the Lakers, and once Miles Turner was ruled out, I really thought that we'd see small ball 5 LeBron James and an Indiana team that had given up 8 million points to the Clippers. A couple of days earlier, I thought it would be a faster paced game. I think we would have gotten it had Karis LeVert not gotten in foul trouble, but it ended up working out for Indiana because LeVert was fresh in the fourth quarter while everybody else was out, and then he blew everybody away. And the Pacers won. The Pacers are the hottest team in the NBA right now, so that's how the NBA is going. But we are 17-3 on our last 20 NBA sides. And hope for a big weekend. And we've got a 5% play already loaded in the NFL playoffs this weekend, so plenty to get in on. And I suggest you do that 3-day pass that Andy was talking about. Buy Andy, because tennis is very underrated to bet on. You got action on tennis, you're going to have a good time. So that's cool to hear. I don't handicap tennis, but good to hear you're doing well on that, Andy. And we'll move along to a very busy weekend.
Yeah, it's a good night there. Good night for Andy sweeping the board. And wow, cha-ching, another sweeping of the board last night, Kevin Dolan. Big night. Congrats to you as well. I believe 4-0 on the evening. And what do you got in store for us tonight?
We actually got a 5% play loaded up for tomorrow in EPL action. The NBA board's big tonight, but I didn't really see a whole pile that stood out. But for those who don't know, if you're looking at a different background right now, we recently made the move out to Korea last week. I've only been in the country 5 minutes, and found out Ireland's removed all restrictions. It's open season. The pubs are back open. I've had better news to wake up to in that regard. And in terms of the show, I was talking with our producer Chris last week. He said, is the time difference out there going to be big? Can you still do the NBA shows? Like, don't even sweat it, man. 6 a.m. Friday night, Saturday morning. That's easy work for me, but I think it was a big mistake. It was 6:15 a.m. here right now. I haven't been to bed. I'm on like my 12th cup of coffee. So if I fall asleep mid-best bed here, just chuck up the Swiss flag and give me a pass. So yeah, look, the players are going well right now. We're rolling. So yeah, looking forward to talking some NBA.
No problem. We lose Dolan halfway between. We know what's going on. We got you covered. Don't you worry about it. All right, guys, let's head out. Start with our contrarian play of the day here. And we are going to focus on the Portland Trailblazers tonight, heading to Boston to take on the Celtics. This opened up 7.5. The money, the tickets continue to come in on Boston. But for the very first time in a long time, it feels like, they're finally getting healthy here, Portland. They kind of ran into a train there in Miami, just kind of ran out of gas there in the end as Miami just shut them down. But they're traveling to Boston, and we all know Boston, if you're looking for a lot of offense, probably aren't going to get it with Boston here. So 8 points feels like a ton. Andy Lang, talk to me about the Trailblazers getting these 8 points tonight. You're going to side with the contrarian gods here.
Absolutely. Boston, you're not laying these kind of points with Boston. They're 3-7 ATS their last 10 games. So I'm not trusting them. They still can't figure out this Jaylen Brown, Tatum thing. They're clunky. And like you said, they're getting healthy, Portland is, but they're not completely healthy, but they're getting a little bit better. I liked what I saw from McCollum. Obviously, he had a good night, and I thought it took away some defensive attention from some of the other guys. So I would absolutely be on the Portland side with this one with 8 points. Props wise, these are two tough teams to figure out. So there's a lot of games tonight. There's a lot of props. So I'm going to give you guys 2 props, but to be honest, there's better places to put your money. I'll do these real quick. We can go back to Al Horford under his points, rebounds, and assists. It's 18.5. The reason is it looks like Marcus Smart might play. If he does play and Robert Williams plays, this just takes away a lot of stats from Horford. He's gone way over the last 3 games, but they've been without those 2. Williams is going to play tonight. Smart, if he plays. Before that 3-game run, Horford went under this total 6 straight times. So they'll look for a big game from Horford when Williams and Smart are in. And then I like Anthony Simons over 19.5 points. He's been shooting a lot, scoring a lot, 23 or more points in 6 out of 8 games. Boston gives up 45 points a game to guards, so look for the scoring to come from the perimeter. Return of McCollum, I think, helped him out a lot. So those are a couple props you can sprinkle on, but like I said, much better things on the board.
So the contrarian gods here, Tony Mejia, they see 8 points. They see the 23rd ranked offensive efficient team along with, well, one of the worst shooting teams altogether in the NBA, and they can't figure out why are they laying 8 when they're only 12-16 as a favorite this year against the number. Are you in agreement with these contrarian gods?
Well, considering last time I was on the show, we had Teddy flicking them off and all the entire panel saying that there was no chance that the Bulls would beat the Cavs, and that was a flying play for me. I'm back to saying, hey, what's up, contrarian gods? How you guys doing? Stable. Got a goblet for me. So I will be in agreement here. But probably a game I won't touch personally. Celtics do get Robert Williams back, probably get Marcus Smart back. Williams makes such a big difference in their defense. And the other variable here as to why I'm not gung ho on the Blazers, although I would lean there, is Nasir Little's status. And if he's out there, that's another body to join Robert Covington in making life difficult for Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. So waiting on official news on that. Obviously, a big deal that CJ McCollum has made it back. He looks pretty sharp for the long layoff and considering what he was dealing with. But with McCollum and Simons, there's a little ball sharing thing that they have to figure out here. Blazers are 2-2 on this trip that ends in Toronto over the weekend. Really should be 3-1 against the number, considering they were in that Miami Heat game the entire way and then fell apart down the stretch. Did not cover a 9-point spread, and everybody thought it was on Portland. Really, that was a tough beat because they lost by 12, and it was like a 1-point game with a few minutes to go. One in Orlando, one in Washington, after getting blown out and giving up 140 in Denver. So it's a team that's showing a little bit of backbone for Chauncey Billups. So certainly I would say the Contrarian God's probably on the right track. So I won't say hell no to them or flick them off, but I'll probably stay away from it from clients.
So what do you think here, Kev? It just feels like the market might be maybe overvaluing Boston, undervaluing Portland, however you want to put it here. You willing to lay 8?
No, Joe, for sure. No, I actually wrote an article on this game earlier this morning for the WagerTalk news site. And I basically said in that piece to summarize that I have no problem coming on the Portland Trailblazers side here, but it has to be on the first half line as opposed to full game on this one. You know, huge fourth quarter collapse again for the Blazers on Wednesday night against the Heat. You know, generated just 12 points from a situation they were leading in heading into the fourth quarter, you know, getting +9 as well. They couldn't even cover that spread. And that's not a particularly new phenomenon for Portland either this season. You know, they own the league's most fourth quarter points per game to opponents this year. They're giving up 28.3 points on average down the stretch. That's the worst in the league. That increases even further to 29.7 points when the Blazers go on the road as well. So while I can't trust them on late game defense here, the good news for the Blazers is that, you know, they've averaged 59.3 points across their last 3 first halves. That's good for top 10 in the league right now in terms of first half scoring. So, you know, Portland +4.5 appeals to me a lot more here than simply taking them on the full game line. So, yeah, I'll agree with the contrarian play on this one, but I definitely need them first half instead of full game.
All right, love that angle. First half for Portland there. The Contrarian Gods, they like them 8 points. Take it with the Trailblazers. Traveling to Boston here tonight. All right, our featured matchup should be an interesting one here as the Denver Nuggets will be hosting the Memphis Grizzlies in this one. Denver opened up as a 4-point favorite with a total right around 220 and a half. And boy, oh boy, this should be, I don't know how interesting people thought this might have been just a few weeks ago with Memphis steamrolling everyone. But what do you think here, Andy? Is there a prop angle you're willing to look at in this matchup as well?
Yeah, it's amazing. Life comes at you fast in the NBA. You're on an 11-game win streak, and all of a sudden Desmond Bane is out. Now we've lost 2 or 3, so yeah, it's interesting. There is one play that I really like. I actually wrote an article on this one for WagerTalk News. I like the Nuggets over 112.5 team total. I was alarmed at how many points Memphis gave up to Milwaukee to the bigs. Aaron Gordon, Jokic, they've been playing well, and I just don't think Steven Adams and Jackson are gonna be able to contain them. They're gonna have their hands full, and I just don't know what I'm gonna get from Memphis on offense right now. I think Denver gets over here. The defense of Memphis has been middle of the road, but you know they rank 15th in points allowed, but you know still no Dylan Brooks. You don't have Bane. You don't have Anderson. Bane and Anderson are not big stoppers, but you're left with filling them in with some bench players. And while those guys are good for some minutes, they're just having to absorb too much. And Jokic should absolutely feast. Denver has scored 130 or more points in 3 out of 4 games. So I'm looking at Denver to have a really good night. As far as Memphis, I just don't really, I can't say with any confidence right now. I've only seen them one time with this roster as it is, but boy, it looks like Morant and Jackson are going to have a lot of work ahead of them. So that's what Denver will focus on, but only play is Nuggets over 112.5, but I really do like that play.
So it's showing. I mean, obviously this little COVID breakout that Memphis has had with No Anderson, no Desmond Bain, Dylan Brooks. They're giving up an awful lot at the rim here, Tony Mejia, over the last couple of games. That's where Denver lives. So, do you like Denver to get easy win tonight, or might Memphis as a dog excite you?
Yeah, I don't think anything is going to be easy because while I'm in total agreement that it's going to be tough for Memphis to really defend around the rim, and when Steven Adams is out there, what Nikola Jokic is going to do is play his point guard role, maybe go out to the perimeter and facilitate there just to draw Adams out of his comfort zone. I also don't see any way that Monte Morris, Facundo Campazzo, Austin Rivers are going to be able to keep John Morant from doing whatever he wants to do. And this is certainly a game that Morant's going to put on his shoulders with Bain and Brooks and Anderson all gone. It's on him to facilitate. And we will also see how Bryn Forbes is utilized by the Nuggets, since I believe he's going to make his debut. So to me, this is the game of the night in the league. Obviously, this is our featured game, but Bucks, Bulls, the fact that Chicago is so banged up and the spread is what it is, kind of by default makes this one the game I'll be most in tune with. And, we'll see. I think the high side is probably the way to go. Denver, as Andy said, has seen the over hit in 4 consecutive games. The over is 4-2-1 in Memphis's last 7. So we should see points in this one. And I wouldn't write off the Grizzlies completely, even though they are shorthanded, because we have seen guys like John Conchar step up of late, and DeAnthony Melton will play major minutes without Tyus Jones and Bain and Brooks out.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Kev, it's the market doesn't seem to care. Any of those guys are missing. So, the lines come down a little bit here throughout the day. What do? Do you trust Memphis defensively to handle Denver in Denver?
Well, I mean, like if you're asking what I'm doing, I'm steering clear of this one. But if I had to play it, I'd be looking at the Memphis Grizzlies, to be honest. Although I can't emphasize enough slight lean. It's just Denver come off that late overtime win against the Clippers last time out. But, they're outshot from the floor in that game. They're outshot from 3-point range as well. They gave up 35 assists to the Clippers in that one as well. Like, even for an overtime game, that's an absolute ton. And they're taking on a Grizzlies team later tonight where, that's been a major strength of this squad all season. The Grizzlies rank 7th in the league on assist to turnover ratio. They're top 10 in assists per possession. They're top 10 in total assists per game as well. So, this Grizzlies teams know how to manage the ball. They know how to spread it around. And, even with that little stutter late, losing to Dallas, losing to Milwaukee, those are 2 very good teams. So if you're going to give me a head start on the Grizzlies in this one, that's the way I'd be looking instead of taking the favorite here.
All right, there you go, guys. Should be a good one tonight in Denver, Memphis. Take it home, the Denver Nuggets. All right, let's move on to our overtime matchup here, guys. And this one should absolutely, I don't know if there's a number high enough here. Let's be realistic as we look with Brooklyn and San Antonio. Hovering around that 235 and a half mark, which I guess is to be, we've seen San Antonio over the last month here. Man, they have put up some numbers offensively. Not so much defensively, but certainly offensively. And Brooklyn, I guess it comes down to, from a prop betting perspective here, Andy, tell me, is there a couple of guys that you're keen on with this kind of total?
Yeah, there's a lot of guys here. This total might be just a bit high for me, and I'm going right with James Harden under 45.5 points, rebounds, and assists. I keep talking about the Kyrie Irving effect, and he's gone under in 3 out of the 4 games with Kyrie in the lineup, and he's gone under in the last 2 without Durant. They're still trying to figure it out. It looks a little bit clunky. He was 0 for 5 from 3-pointers last game. I mean, I don't expect something like that to continue, but they're both kind of trying to do similar things. I do like what they've been doing with the rotation, as they really never have a time where one of them is not on the court. But Harden's stats is just not there, and without Durant there's a lot of confusion. There's a lot of just kind of weird stuff that's going on with Brooklyn. It's going to take them a little bit to figure it out, and until Harden goes over consistently when Kyrie's in the lineup, Harden has to be an underplay. So I'll take him under 45.5 points, rebounds, and assists. On the flip side, DeJounte Murray over 20.5 points to me is a must play to your card tonight. Harden and Kyrie are not playing defense anytime soon. DeJounte should have a really nice night tonight. He's coming off 23 points against OKC. He went just under against Phoenix and the Clippers, but before that, you look 30 against Cleveland, 32 against Houston, 24 against the Knicks. This should be a really, really nice game for him. They really don't have any rim protection, does Brooklyn. So look for Murray to have a good game tonight.
So we're starting to see that trio. They're starting to show some lights here, which is part of the reason they ended up beating Washington and crushing everybody, except for Rob Vino, who just totally mushed Teddy Covers here on the show. But, Tony, Patty Mills, you've got Kyrie, you've got Harden. The three of them were pretty darn impressive in that game against Washington. So what do you think here? Is it just over or not for you in this one?
I haven't seen Teddy since that happened. I'm sure he appreciated David Vanderpool getting involved, the assistant coach, making that big play that no referee saw, because referees are wonderful. Hey, 121 to 119 was the final score when the Nets and Spurs got together on January 9th. And obviously that spills, I think, that I really don't like. If I wanted to play the under, which that was my lean, is that Nick Claxton appears to be out. So that pulls a rim protector out of the mix for the Nets. And the other thing, there are two coaches that ideally should have a great idea of what to do with James Harden. And that's Rick Carlisle and Greg Popovich, because they coached against him when he was in Houston so often and were there so long. It was kind of their job to try to limit him. Harden went for 26 points and 12 assists on the 9th, but that was with Kevin Durant in the mix and no Kyrie Irving. So it'll be interesting to see how the distribution goes. I agree with Andy on the number being too high for me, even though this is a spot where you kind of look for guys to feast. You understand that the Spurs want to push at all costs, and that's usually the way the Nets play. But again, without Durant, we're starting to see what this team looks like. They're so young too, beyond Kyrie and James Harden, where you're kind of depending on Cam Thomas and David Duke Jr. and guys like that. So we'll see how their game travels on the road. Look, man, this spread is wild because we did see that the Nets were an underdog against the Wizards. I didn't expect them to be an underdog against the Spurs too. So certainly the betting market, not a big believer in the team that they still have as the betting favorite to win it all once KD comes back. So they don't like this current form. We'll see what's tonight. But my the under and the line smells fishy.
All right. Thinks the line smells fishy. Close to a pick 'em. Leaning the under here. It's tough. I mean, we haven't seen a whole lot of movement here, Kev. But if you were a betting man, would it simply just be over or not for you?
No, I'd have to lean under in this one, Joe. San Antonio have actually been getting much better defensively of late. Their opponent points per game has dropped by 7.2 points per game over the last three starts. The defensive efficiency metrics have jumped from a season average 18th to now 7th in the league over the last three starts as well. And, Brooklyn's floor percentage is 5.5% higher than their season average last time out against Washington as well. So, all that combined would point me towards the under in this one.
All right, leaning towards the under in that one there. Brooklyn taking on the San Antonio Spurs. We'll see how that version of Brooklyn does tonight. In the meantime, I hear the dogs barking, Robert. What do we got here?
That's my dog. That's my dog. That's my dog. That's my dog. And anybody got to say anything, you let me know. That's my dog.
All right, well, we got a few to choose from here tonight on this big card. We got the Thunder, shocker. The Magic, also a shocker. They must have known Kevin Dolan was on the show. The Clippers, the Miami Heat, the Blazers, the Toronto Raptors. Yes, the Chicago Bulls, the Nets. We just saw the Pistons, shocker. the Grizz, and oh no, the Rockets are a dog. Didn't they see that Utah game? What the hell is wrong with the market? Come on, Andy, talk to us here. Which one of these dogs you making your own tonight?
I don't understand the Warriors giving 11 points to people. What is going on here? I mean that they got beat by Indiana Pacers backups last night. They're on a back-to-back. They don't have Clay. They don't have Draymond. They don't have Iguodala. And the Rockets have been playing pretty decent. They've got some wins. This line really, really baffles me. I keep checking the injury reports to see if I'm missing something. And I do have to laugh at the websites when they list John Wall as out. Like, we get it. You don't need to list John Wall as out. We got that. This line is way too high. I see a team that's really struggling, and especially on the perimeter. The perimeter defense was atrocious last night. They let the Pacers guards do whatever they wanted. So there's no chance I would lay 11 points with Golden State to anybody with this lineup coming off a back-to-back like this.
All right, there we go. Talk to us, Tony Mahi. A lot of places to roll here. I know you got season tickets to the Magic, but good thing they're on a road. Talk to us here. Where are you going here tonight?
The Lakers will be at home tonight, despite the fact that they're 3,000 miles away. It'll be Laker Nation at Amway, and at least there'll be people at the game, so that'll be good. And I won't be there. Look, I'm going to go to Charlotte, where Oklahoma City will visit and probably lose by 8 or less, and that'll be good enough to cover the spread. Both of these teams have been money-making machines over the last few weeks. Charlotte 10-3 against the spread since December 20th. Oklahoma City doing them one better, 12-3-1 against the numbers since December 15th. And as we all know, the Thunder have been one of the more reliable spread teams in the league, I believe top 3. And, at this point, Charlotte, a much better team. They've obviously got LaMelo Ball back after missing the Martin Luther King Day game that they won anyway against the Knicks. They've got P.J. Washington questionable, so you want to keep an eye on that. But I think the Thunder will come in and do what they do, just play a competitive game. It'll probably be at a faster pace because that's what Charlotte likes to do. And somehow, some way, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander will pull off the cover in the final minutes. He, Josh Giddey, and the returning Darius Bazley, who's looked pretty decent since coming off, should give some issues. And if Kelly Oubre Jr. isn't playing as well as he has been since coming off his own protocol issue, then I think
All right, so he's going to back it, no way around it there. Talk to us here, Kev. Where might you around the world there be looking to make your dog tonight here? Who you got?
Well, I'd love to take the Magic, but I'm in full agreement with Tony here. I like the Thunder plus the points. They've dropped 8 of the last 9 straight up, obviously, last in the division. But, as Tony said, they're playing hard right now. 7-2-1 ATS over the last 10. Head-to-head wise, they're also 4-0 ATS against the Hornets in Charlotte as well. And the Hornets still haven't found a way to get those opponent assists under control. So I'm going to take the Thunder as well as my dog play for tonight. I just think we're getting a few too many points in this spot.
Yeah, it always seems like OKC, we're getting a ton of points here, and the value is there. So that's where Tony and Kev are leaning here tonight for their dog. But a lot of places to go on the card here tonight. So time to figure out what their buzzer beater is going to be. Best bet time here. Andy, we'll start with you. 60 seconds on the clock. Where might you be looking here tonight?
Well, if I like the Rockets to do well, I got to have some players that are going to do well for the Rockets, and I'm going to look at Kevin Porter. Really like what I've seen from him last 4 games. He's gone over this total in all 4, and the Rockets have won 3 of those. Golden State really been struggling to defend guards, and we saw it last night. Duarte lit them up. He went for 27, 7-3. Golden State is on a back-to-back. I expect Porter to take advantage of some tired legs and some bad defenders on the perimeter. So look at Kevin Porter Jr. as kind of an under the radar. They have this number at 22.5. I think he gets to 25 and over. So I want to remind everybody we got NBA pack that is up, NFL playoff pack that is up. Go get a 3-day pass. It's $20 off. It's on the profile page. And shout out to Kevin Dolan. But I do want to know, Kevin, are you going to stay up to do these shows, or are you going to get up to do these shows? What is the plan? What's the plan moving forward? Sleep before, sleep
question.
after.
Yep, solid question. I'm just impressed anybody look towards Houston here. Kev, you can answer that in a second here. Tony Mejia, I know you're up. You ain't going to sleep. I know. You'll be wearing your Laker jersey tonight courtside. But come on, talk to us. Where are you going here tonight? 60 seconds.
I'm going to the Amway Center, but I'm not going to the Amway Center because I'm staying home, like I told you. But I am going to there to watch that game, and I'm very interested in the fact that this number opened at 221. I got it at 218, and now it is 2.5 at Caesars and 217 to 217.5 everywhere else. So apparently, a lot of money has come in on the under, and I'm in total disagreement with that. We got Wendell Carter Jr. coming back from the Orlando Magic, a guy that really makes your offense go. Mo Bamba had 7 3-pointers the other night in Philadelphia to incur the wrath of Joel Embiid, who dropped 50 on the Magic. Orlando, not a very good defensive team, but sometimes they bring it offensively. And I think we'll see an engagement he's in as he returns to center of small ball 5 with LeBron James. I think we'll see Carmelo Anthony and a liability on defense, just like he has been, and then engage Russell Westbrook, who got benched last time. Give me the over in Lakers Magic.
All right. Man, expecting some points here tonight in Orlando. Love it. All right, Kevin Dolan. So first question on tap is, are you staying up or are you getting up here when you watch these shows, or are you part of them? And, of course, what is your best bet here tonight?
Yeah, well, the answer Andy's question, look, I love coming on here doing the show. Now, the question is, do I love doing the show enough to set my alarm for 5:30 a.m.? That's debatable. But yeah, stay up for me for sure. I just want to quickly mention too, Joe, huge offer right up on my page right now at WagerTalk. Basically, pick up the rest of my NBA season package right now through NBA Finals. We're number 1 over the last 365 days. If you pick that up, if you message head office, you get our full Champions League season package absolutely free, tacked on as well. So great offer there, $370 in savings. So in terms of our best bet, I like the over between the Rockets and Warriors tonight. The Warriors had a fairly dismal shooting display last night against Indiana. Despite the game going into overtime, they shot a full 5% less. Andy mentioned all the issues that they had. Houston are 29th in the league in overall defensive efficiency this season. They're giving up the 25th most points from three-pointers to opponents in the league as well this season. That's a mouthful. And I also expect Houston to grab their fair share of points here as well. I do think this one goes into the 230 range. So, over 229 for me tonight between Houston and Golden State. Best bet.
Wow. Damn, Robert, did any of that convince you to back Houston tonight? I didn't think so. All right, good. There we go. Best bet time. We'll recap it for you. We got Andy Lang. Look at him. He ain't shy. His dog going to be the Rockets tonight, plus 11, even though Robert lives around the block from the stadium, and he's like, oh, hell no. His best bet also, Kevin Porter Jr., get him over those 22.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Tony Mejia, give me the OKC plus 9. What? Why do they keep getting these ridiculous numbers? Plus 9 for the Oklahoma City Thunder, and his best bet, expecting some points from LeBron and company tonight over at the Amway. Lakers Magic over. And Kevin, well, he too, for his dog, likes the Thunder, and his best bet, though, is expect some points, and more points there. Rockets, Warriors over 229. Our contrary play of the day is going to be the Portland Trailblazers getting those 8 points against the Boston Celtics. And as you heard, the guys' best bets are locked and loaded, available right now. Great packages. You heard about Kevin's directly on his page. Definitely take advantage of this, guys. Tony Mejia, he is ready to rock and roll. He's got his best bets up over the weekend, as does Andy. Another great package on the way there, guys. Collectively, these guys went, I believe, 12-1 last night. So they are on a roll. Take advantage of it right now. 3-day, 7-day, 30-day, all access packages. Can't beat it here, guys, this time of year. So head over to WagerTalk.com. Visit these guys. Get it done here tonight And then, of course, hit that bell in the upper right-hand corner. We'll be back to make fun of the Houston Rockets on Monday, I promise. And on behalf of Andy, Tony, and Kevin, Gav, go get some. Actually, you can't sleep. The game's starting in an hour. So you might as well get another cup of coffee, my man. Good God, I don't know how he does that. Hit that bell in the upper right-hand corner, guys. Make plans. Come back and join us next week for another edition of the NBA Tip-Off Show. Until then, best of luck tonight. Best of luck this weekend. We'll talk to you again on Monday, guys. Thanks for hanging with us. Good luck.
Why pay the regular price when you can save money on every purchase with WagerBucks at both WagerTalk and Sports Memo? WagerBucks are now eligible for use on not just daily, 3-day, and 7-day passes, but all long-term and seasonal packages up to 1 full year. There are tons of options available for every budget and size of bettor. From low as $100 gets $110, all the way up to $2,500 gets you $3,000. Save every day on every pick you buy with WagerBucks.